Right, folks, if I say Roadrunner to you, you'll think Roadrunner, Roadrunner, going 1,000 miles an hour. No, nothing to do with that at all. Nothing at all. Roadrunner commented on the question I asked yesterday about who is your favourite snooker commentator. But for those that didn't hear, I said over the years, including now. Most people have gone in the now and not the over the years. I've got my favourite for now, but I've got my favourite from over the years. And my favourite from over the years, I like even more than my favourite from now. So I'm going to tell you who I like and I'm going to tell you why. But before I do, let me just say this to you. I like probably virtually all the commentators I grew up with, be it in rugby union, tennis, horse racing, rugby league and snooker. You get used to those voices as you grow up. And when you grow up, you always remember those voices. So I like you Whispering Ted, the Clive Everton, Meadowcroft and all these people. I think I even like Rex Williams, and he had that nasal tone and whatever else. And I don't know, maybe he wasn't a great commentator. I can barely remember him because it's that many years ago. But I like all the oldies. There was a time I didn't mind Virgo, but Virgo probably should have been pensioned off a few years ago now. You know, I mean, other than his where's the cue ball, he's not got much else to say. Same probably with Dennis Taylor, same with Dennis, I would imagine. Doherty, not so bad, but a bit boring. Don't mind Davis, they call him boring, but I don't mind him, but he's mainly sat in the studio. I don't mind Parrott, to be honest with you, and I don't mind Hendry. But when I look at snooker commentators now, the ones I really, really like, and I mean really like the guy that commentates on Eurosport, I can't think of his name, but I like him. The main guy there, I can't think of his name, but I like him. But I love Neil Foulds. I think he's really, really good. Don't mind McManus at all. Jimmy White, I love Jimmy, but as a commentator, not brilliant. He just gets the gig because he's Jimmy White, that's all I think. Ronnie O'Sullivan's shocking, I think he's awful. With anything he says, I think he's awful. He's just poor as a commentator and as a pundit and asks the wrong questions. Can I think of more? I probably can, but they're not springing to mind. But no, I mentioned Roadrunner because the one I love above them all, and I just love him, I don't know what it is Joe Johnson. I just love Joe Johnson. I don't know if it's voice. I think he's got fantastic knowledge. If memory serves, did he win it once? I think he did as a newbie. I think he won it as a newcomer, same as Terry Griffiths. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he entered it once, so first year I think he won it straight away. I'm sure he won it, and he never did much thereafter. But considering he's not won many championships and probably didn't have a hugely long career, I just think he's really knowledgeable. I like what he says. He never goes over the top. He says the right thing at the right time all the time. I just like him. I really like him. He's my favourite of now, probably closely followed by Neil Foulds. And I watch probably as much on BBC as Eurosport. Well, lately, no, I don't watch as much snooker as I should, but when I do, I probably watch. Used to always be the BBC. I find myself watching Eurosport more now because of Foulds and Joe Johnson. But my favourite of all time is one I've not mentioned. Somebody mentioned, by the way, Roadrunner. He picked Joe Johnson. That's why I mentioned Roadrunner. So well done you. That's my one for now. In fact, we'll class him as my favourite now because the other one doesn't commentate anymore. And I'll tell you who that is, and I'll tell you why I like him. Somebody mentioned Stephen Hendry. Don't mind him, don't love him as a commentator, but what you like about Hendry is when he's talking breaks and being amongst the balls, and when he's talking you through a break, he's good at all of that because he was a fantastic break builder himself. But for me, the Champione, the best snooker commentator probably of all time in my eyes, my humble eyes, would be, and it's a without doubter for me, would be Willie Thorne. I just used to love Willie Thorne, and I mean, I absolutely loved him. I thought the BBC treated him abysmally. Did he say the F word once? The back of commentary, I don't think it was in commentary, but it was heard. But I think it was the second time he'd done it. And I think that was the reason they pushed him out, although I think they maybe had another agenda. I thought Willie Thorne was brilliant. Now, I know Willie won even less than Johnson. But the thing is, he was renowned as a world-class break builder. And whenever anybody was on a big break, he'd talk you through it. He'll tell you what they've just done. He'd tell you how he would do it, what he would do. This is what to do. And it was always spot on. I used to absolutely love listening to Willie Thorne. And the great thing is as well, he explained things where he'd tell you, but he'd tell you in layman's terms. Or if somebody came up with something that was a bit that maybe us non-snooker players weren't onto it, he'd explain what was meant by it. And I just thought, I just thought he was brilliant. So for me, the best snooker commentator I've ever heard, in my eyes, would be Willie Thorne. A lot might disagree, but I loved him. And now, modern day, I love Joe Johnson. I think he's great. So, just thought I'd tell you folks, that's it for me.